An hour on the dream machine keeps me sane.
So he actually has what he called a dream machine, which is
Something else from Sharper Image right there.
Yeah, this damn Tron jellyfish mask that he got on, where it's like it's an actual dream machine that he has to wear. He has to wear this to keep him from going crazier than he already is.
I don't think it works.
No, it doesn't work at all.
But it looks sick.
Here's somebody that ain't going away, no matter what kind of movie they make. That's one thing that is not going away. That is a fixture of cinema right there. Mr. James Bond. And everybody loves James Bond. We don't love all his movies, though. You know, that's just one thing we got to deal with James Bond. You know, with a man that puts out, you talking about some work ethic now. With a man that puts out as many movies as he does, we just have to expect we're going to get a bad one day. Or one that's just not going to be as beloved as some of the others out there. That seems to be the impression with the trailer we just played right here, Die Another Day. It's funny because a lot of people say, and it pains me to say that because Pierce Brosnan is an excellent James Bond. Love the man. A lot of people, we talked about this last week, a lot of people, they were introduced to James Bond because of this man right here. And if it wasn't because of the movies, it was because of the video games out there. GoldenEye.
GoldenEye on the N64.
Yeah, that was a huge one right there, which featured this man's James Bond right here. And the funny thing about it is that James Bond movies, they have been made through so many different periods that, there's some things that they did back then that you can't do today.
Sure. Or you wouldn't do today.
Yeah, you can. You probably only get one chance, but that's it. Yeah, we probably gonna get another Live and Let Die like we did back in the day.
Man, yeah. And I was telling you how I've been going back and reading the books.
Yeah.
And yeah, Live and Let Die, the movie is, it's fairly racist. The book is super racist.
Yes, I've been wanting to read that because of how racist.
Yeah, and I recently read Goldfinger, and Goldfinger, it's super racist against Koreans. It's just like you read some of that shit, you're like, God damn, man.
Yes, yeah, man. Yeah, you ain't gonna be that racist against Koreans, and you're not gonna be able to blow up a black man like a balloon and pop his ass at the end of the movie like you did in Live and Let Die. These are some movies that are not gonna be made again. Those are Bonds that we're not going to get again. Enjoy them for what they are from that period that they're in.
You Only Live Twice is another one.
Yeah.
That's where Bond pretends to be Japanese and has his eyes pulled back.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, some of these movies only live once. So you ain't doing that shit again. But besides some of the racist angles of these movies, man, there's just a tone to some of these films that I wonder, can we actually make that movie again? Even though it's not racist or, maybe slightly sexist. But but it's just a different kind of Bond than what we have today. And we're looking at that because there's talks of the new James Bond that we're going to be getting. Now, this might not be the case by the time you watch this video later down the line in the future, but people are talking about Aaron Taylor Johnson being the new James Bond. Daniel Craig, of course, is the one that's handing off the title to him if he gets it, or whoever will be the next one. But the thing is with Daniel Craig, and I'm going to assume with the new James Bond, but with Daniel Craig especially, that was a new James Bond that was brought in that we really hadn't seen before. That was a grittier James Bond, even though these movies are fantastical action films. Some people say because it was a grittier James Bond, for James Bond movies, relatively it was more down to earth. It was slightly more realistic, slightly.
Well, they always start out that way.
Yeah, no, they do, and then something crazy happens. But with this movie right here, Die Another Day, it is so the opposite of what we have today with James Bond. But was typical of James Bond at a certain point, but this is really an outrageous one right here.
Yeah, this is closer to Fast and the Furious.
Yeah,
very, very close.
Yeah, this is the movie that leaned on I don't mean this in a bad way, but leaned on the more comic book cartoonish side of Bond. It's almost a comedy how crazy this gets at certain points, and and did things that probably, even for hardcore James Bond fans out there, probably didn't feel right for a James Bond movie. Can we actually make a James Bond movie like this today? Or at least in the, for now in the near future, given what we had with the last few movies, the Daniel Craig arc of stories that we had. So I'm going to make an argument for why we probably won't, but let's just go ahead and start getting into the film right here and talking about that. Of course, this is James Bond on international missions, as he usually is, and he's out to stop a mysterious new mega billionaire out there who has a brand new weapon and has hopes of world domination, just like every other James Bond villain out there. What weapon is this? Who is this villain? What other plans does he have? We'll take a look at all that as we get into this. We don't want to talk about it too much right now. All right, so I will say, first of all, and let me raise this up so y'all can hear this. You can hear some of this audio, because audio is going to be very important for a lot of these. First of all, I don't know if you're going to see a James Bond as funky as this one right here. If you listen to the opening James Bond theme, there's never been a funkier one than this. Funky. We haven't heard a James Bond theme as funky as that before or since.
True.
Probably for a good reason.
Well, you're looking at a character born in the early 60s, like 62.
Yeah.
And you're trying to update it for whatever age you're making it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're gonna hit that right combination.
Yeah.
And sometimes
yeah. And listen, somebody said, man, that slaps though. I think if they had kind of left it there, we wouldn't be saying anything about it. But the movie goes in some other directions where they're like, all right,
if you were in the club and you heard that, you'd be like, oh, that's James Bond. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. But if you're in the movie theater, like, oh, that's James Bond. It's just an opening. It doesn't bother me too much, except to where it leads into. But we were talking about this, Julian. Here's another thing, and this is not unusual for Bond, but sometimes it gets a little silly. We got Bond doing extreme sports again. My man,
surfing.
My man's out there surfing. Oh no, wait a minute. Oh, here he is. My man. Oh, and hanging 10 too. Whee! I like the way he's having a good time. Arms up. Yeah.
Making it look easy.
Yeah, man. Out there surfing. We've seen him surfing. We've seen him snowboarding. Mm-hmm. We've seen him jet skiing. My man can do it all. My man, I think he was doing some BMX biking before. Skateboarding. I think there's a movie where he did that, I'm sure.
You're not getting that confused with Triple X, are you?
I was just thinking the transporter rode a bike. I remember James Bond doing that.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. When we start to mix up James Bond with Triple X and Vin Diesel, then it was like, all right, now come on. Pull it back a little bit. Now, outside that classic Bond stuff, or included with that classic Bond stuff, we have the Ruthless villain, or what we thought might be the Ruthless villain. We have James Bond movies. They know they gotta always open big.
Yeah,
and they always got to introduce somebody. Whether they're the main villain or not, they have to be a formidable foe for James Bond. And we got this guy here Korean leader, he's so ruthless and so cruel that he uses actual bodies for body bags and punching bags. That poor dude, he's like, shit, I gotta get another job. Shit, he's on Indeed.com right now. Looking for something else.
And they totally stole that for the Fast and the Furious.
Did they?
Yeah, they had Jason Statham doing that.
Oh, that's right. And that's the dude who's doing the beat down right here. That's Colonel Moon, who, like most Korean leaders, he's the son.
North Korean, by
the way. South Korea, get it right. North Korean, and they have a whole thing of like, you still have the old leader back there, but then his son is coming up. Mm-hmm. They always got daddy issues and got something to prove, which means that they're crazier than the last one. So, you got this opening up with Bond going undercover. He's doing an arms deal with the villain. He's disguised as an arms dealer or somebody who wants to buy a bunch of weapons for whatever.
RPGs, flamethrowers, automatic weapons, and enough ammunition to run a small war. My diamonds?
And selling them, of course, with diamonds, because that's in a Bond movie, everything is done with expensive taste and extravagant things.
Well, diamonds are forever.
Forever.
Ah.
But you know what? His cover is not. And we'll get into that a little bit because at least this features some of. I do like this. I like that it features some of the trademark Bond humor.
Don't blow it all at once.
Go get your shit, man. Go on. You like that one?
That might have been okay if every line wasn't like that in the movie.
Yeah, no, every line is like that in the movie, man.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. Okay, so Pierce Brosnan is your introduction to James Bond. So you missed all the Roger Moore years.
Oh, hell yeah.
Where he would say stuff like that and be so self-satisfied.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, man.
don't blow it all at once.
Man, we saw that in that last, what was it?
View to a Kill.
View to a Kill. Yeah, he got jokes. All of them.
Got him.
Yeah, you like that one? It's the opening of the movie. We ain't gonna have no smooth deal go on, because if it was smooth, we wouldn't have an action scene. So, of course, his cover's blown easily by cell phone.
With whatever that
Yeah,
is.
they like, oh, shit, he knows. Look at it,
Oh, they got one of those? God damn it.
He makes one of his smooth Bond escapes. Y'all could have shot at any time. I like the way.
Exactly. I love that run. That's not no smooth run.
He has that prototype Tom Cruise running.
Oh, hell yeah. Shit, I ain't got time for jokes now. Like, shit, I gotta get that leads to some good, if not silly action. I say silly because everything explodes. Mm-hmm. These hovercrafts, they're full of explosives, man.
They're full of explosives and they are slow as like they'll be going 5 miles an hour. The camera's just like shaking to make it look fast.
Yeah. But I was like, wasn't the engine in the back?
Yes. I mean, what are these things full of, man? Jet fuel? What the
It's helium in it that's blowing it up.
Trees. Trees got explosives in them. Y'all just need to get rid of these hovercrafts, man. Shit, they hit a speed bump. Kaboom!
Yeah.
And the bunkers are full of gasoline and dynamite. Just like, ding! Yeah, what kind of Wile E. Coyote Acme shit is this, man?
Just barely touches it.
Just barely touching it, man. And Bond always has to take out. He's like, look, if I'm involved in your death, you going out a silly ass way, all right? You gonna,
Yeah, Bond is not about dishing out dignity.
no, I'm gonna be smooth. I'm gonna make you though. I'm gonna make you look stupid as shit. I'm gonna have your ass pressed up against a fan
With a clown nose.
yeah, and kill you with a wooden door. Yeah, man. But I tell you what they do here that is different, that I have to give this credit for, is that Bond gets caught.
I give this whole sequence a lot of credit. It's one of the reasons I've always had an affinity for this movie.
Now, okay, so he's caught and he's tortured. And I'm like you, I want to give you're going to give this more credit than I do. I want to give this credit. I give it credit for the idea and the initiation of Bond getting caught, because Bond don't ever get caught.
He never gets caught.
He never gets
and
caught.
his ass was caught where like, we got you. It's like, okay, well, he's going to break out soon. Like, nah, you ain't going nowhere.
Even he has that look right now.
Yeah, no one escapes from North Korea.
Yeah.
Plus, he's like, I'm usually not in this position.
No.
I kind of don't know what to do.
That whole thing about them MI6 disavowing you, if you get caught, he's like, oh shit, y'all serious about that. Okay, because right now he's like, help. And that's just the beginning.
Yeah. He even looks like, yeah, I know they just started.
Yeah.
There's no point in me panicking right now.
Actually, that's them being courteous. Let's wash you off a little bit. My man is he's dedicated to the job because he's gone for 14 months. See, 14 months says right there, and and the whole time he didn't snitch at all, man. You know, they've been torturing him in unspeakable ways, and he didn't say a word.
For the last time, who was it? Who made him betray his country and his name?
And he was like, okay, you asked for it. In fact, I thought he was still waiting on the answer. Oh, you ain't gonna talk? Okay, all right. See, I like that idea. Mm-hmm. I do give it credit that they torture him. He doesn't talk. He like this right here. I mean, you just see this that image without me saying anything. Scorpions everywhere tells you what this man had to endure. And then the real torture happens.
Oh.
Cut it off! Cut it off! Oh, people, in my humble opinion, I know it's different for everybody, but that is probably the worst James Bond theme.
I think that's been universally voted as the worst James Bond theme.
Really?
Yeah.
That's Die Another Day from Madonna.
Rewatching this when he played at the end, I was like, well, I guess I don't hate it so much in itself. It's just not a good James Bond theme.
It was making me think, man, Eiffel 65 had an impact on this movie. And they're like, hey, go listen to that album and make some shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, again, it's just me. I'm not speaking to anybody. I think it's a terrible song on its own. I listen to the lyrics and it's just horrible. Yeah, you just said that, you know.
I mean, that's how EDM is, you know.
Exactly, man.
I bet there's a good remix.
Okay, it's EDM, but it doesn't belong with a Bond theme.
No,
correct.
No, I agree with you there.
But no, even listen. I listen to EDM. I listen to all kind of stuff. That is a terrible song right there. It's just, and I'm not a Madonna hater. I like Madonna. I've defended Madonna when other people have been on her ass. But that's just it's not a good song. I don't think. I don't think
it feels out of place. It feels very 90s, and this is early 2000s.
It strikes me as a song that would be on one of her albums that wouldn't get radio play. You'd just be getting through this one to get to the next one that you like.
And just like, that song, this is where things get kind of silly. He's held captive by MI6 because they wonder how much he gave up, as anybody would.
Yeah, like you there 14 months. You said something.
You said
I ain't saying nothing. You said something.
Yeah, this is where he's held captive. And, Judi Dench, she played M for a while before later on. She was killed off later. Spoiler alert right here.
But she made it through 2 Bonds.
No, she did. She did. And she was cold ass M too because she, like, you can see her right now. Hell no, I ain't letting you out there. Looking like a damn ape. They
did a good job of revealing there was glass between them. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Em, it's me. Let me out. No.
Yeah. Looking like a damn caveman exhibit at the museum. Keep your ass back there. Listen, I never said we were friends.
Right.
She's in there telling her about Wilson. It's like, come on.
Yeah, man.
What the hell is this all about?
The top American agent. The Americans intercepted a signal from your prison naming him.
And they think it's me.
It's like, well, you in a cage, right? Yeah. Why wouldn't they?
I thought we made that obvious.
Hey, come on, baby, it's me. You know me.
And
she's like, yeah, I know you are. Shit, you might not, torture might not do it, but they gave your ass some ass. Shit, give you some pussy, you give it up real quick.
Some pussy and some bourbon. Everything.
Yeah, she'll go back there and make you a martini, shaking not stirring. Yeah, your ass cocked real quick. And I love this. Now, see, this is where things get kind of silly because they just got to move the story along. So my man decides, you know what? Because they got him in that glass, pretty much in prison, locked up in a glass cage right there. And one day he just was like, you know what? I don't want to be here no more. So he just bust out. And I think they give you a little montage. I like that they don't tell you everything, but I don't get it either. I think he knows how to hold his breath and control his heart rate. And so yeah, he gets to jump on these people that are testing out his vitals.
Thanks for the kiss of life.
Yeah, I just love that he beat everyone in the room and sexually harassed her all in one beat.
Yeah, she didn't harass her. She's into it. She's like, shit. If she was smart, she could have taken that dress off and had him held captive again. You know? I got him.
Seduce him back in the cage.
He's on top of it. You know what I like too, man? I like it when he was talking to M before he made his escape. He even tried to look good in front of her. He tried to hold that gut in.
Back is
Yeah, ass cheeks tight. Oh shit, she coming in. I better look good. Yeah, he's trying to M too. Hey baby, what's going on?
That's a sticking out stuff.
Hey, it'd be a power move. You can't fire me now.
Yeah. She like, you know, stick your stomach out and put your ass back in. I ain't trying to have sex with you. I know what you're doing. He breaks out so easy, and then he swims to China. Now, China's not that far away. It's right across, you know, the river, but when he got out of there, he said, God damn, that was further than I thought. Oh shit. I just have to question it. You know, this is James Bond, high security risk. No cameras caught this, no guards, nothing.
Yeah, it seemed like, I was like, did they want him to escape? Because it seemed like they played into their plans to have him out there like that.
I don't think it did because of what happened next. Because they want Bond because he has to, when he escapes, he has to make alliances with other people. Like I said, no cameras, no guards, no goddamn sense. Besides that song and some other things we've seen, this is probably on the sillier side because some of the things that we see in Bond movies during this period is, you know, it's following a trend that happened. And I think it might still be happening to a certain degree, but it was stronger back in the early 2000s. So, you know, this right here, this is the period where we try to appeal to the Chinese market a lot. Mm-hmm. You know, we would throw things in movies like with Iron Man 3. They had a scene with a Chinese doctor. Mm-hmm. You know, that a lot of people are like, well, what was that all about? Turns out that doctor had a bigger scene in China. Or they cast Chinese, you know, characters that are just there for some reason. Like, you know, and it feels weird sometimes. Like at the beginning of the movie here, Bond, for some reason, he's sharing a mission with these two other Chinese guys. And later they're gone. You know, they don't explain too much about them. For all we know, and I don't know if this is, I'm just taking a guess, they might have had a bigger role in the Chinese version. You know, I don't know. Yeah. You know, and this is, and like I said, because of that and some other things, this is where we get into like, we won't see this type of movie for a while because of things like that. Just because of, you know, of what they were trying to do during that period. Trying to appeal to China was more prominent than it is right now.
It's still fairly prominent, but here's the thing you have to look at is that he's directly gone in and he's like, you know, it's the British and American government against North Korea. Like he's like going in their territory. But now you look at a more recent movie, Top Gun Maverick, where they wouldn't even say who the enemy was.
Well, yes,
like can't offend anyone.
No, exactly. And, you know, no, I mean, seriously, back in the 2000s, they were very blatant about it. Like today, you know, we don't do that where we just put random Chinese people in movies now. They put random Chinese people in movies like, who the is that?
Oh, yeah.
And we don't, you know, they're not doing that.
Yeah, there's not so much of that.
Or they made movies where they were specifically for the Chinese market. You know, that I can tell you right now, Pacific Rim got made because they had a lot of Chinese characters in there, and they made it kind of because, you know, they wanted to appeal. They thought it would do well in China.
Remember the Meg 2? That did that too.
Yep.
Transformers have done that so much.
Oh, yeah.
Chinese credit cards and shit in Transformers.
Yeah, that is true, man. So, you know, I don't know if they're doing it that much today, but they really were making a story here that would appeal to the Chinese market. You know, like Bond has to take refuge in China. You know, he has to go there, and he knows that they usually, now any other time, he'd be like, you know, I know y'all up to something, but because he's on the lam and he needs their help, and because again we're trying to appeal to the Chinese market. Now he does pull a James Bond move. He knows that they're up to no good. He discovers them. He knows everything they're trying to pull with him.
I'm not that kind of masseuse.
Bitch, bring your ass out from behind there. I see you. I know you behind there. He knows they're spying on him. They sent a chick knowing that that's his weakness. Probably were trying to kill him. But because we are, because we need Bond alive to make more movies, and because we're trying to appeal to the Chinese market, he has to actually work with them, make an agreement.
He literally hits him with the ashtray, bitch.
You get me into North Korea, I'll take care of him for you.
In addition to trying to, do something that they were doing, like trying to appeal to a foreign market strongly, I think that they were also trying to appeal to American audiences too, really hard. Like James Bond is just James Bond today. He's British, we accept him for that. But I think that with this movie in particular, I think they were trying to Americanize this in a certain way. Yeah, and I'll tell you why, because I think at least have more American appeal. And I think they were trying to do that just, first of all, mainly because this character right here.
Oh, yeah.
And that's Halle Berry doing her Free Willy impression. She jumped out of there like a whale, a dolphin. This is Jinx. Halle Berry as the character of Jinx. Now, first of all, I'm gonna tell you, man, I like what they were doing with her, because she's very much a classic Bond girl, man. I mean, classic Bond girl being that, she speaks a lot with her sex appeal.
God damn.
I know he's like, shit.
Car's not even lit.
Yeah. He's about to lose his cool. He's eating.
Oh, god damn.
Yeah, boy, them hips, man. I mean, that classic Bond girl where she's perfect for a bikini, uses her hips and her sex appeal.
That's Ursula Andress right out of Dr. No.
Yeah.
This movie is just oozing with hot women, though. Like, even when he's just walking down the streets, like, there's like a half dozen prostitutes, like, always on every corner.
I love her here, man, because I love the mission that they give her. I mean, she looks good, but they have her doing some Bond stuff of her own. Like she's tracking down evil doctors, man, who take the organs of orphans and children and uses them to help people live longer and change race and all this kind of stuff.
Phase 2. Runaways. People that won't be missed.
You're like, ooh, I'm gonna get your ass. She said, that's orphans, children, runaways. That's all I had to hear.
Of course, after they're dead.
Like, shit.
She didn't even give him a chance to go, wait, what'd you say?
Yeah, I woke his ass up, actually. Where was I?
It's an amazing effect, the way they did that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, shit. He don't even know he's dead yet. Goddamn. Anybody cold in here?
Oh, yeah, I think you ruined the check here.
I was saying that they're trying to push her like into being more Americanized, or maybe a vehicle for Americanizing the series more, because they were talking about her having a spinoff at one time. They wanted to have Jinx be in her own movies, man. You could even feel them pushing that a little bit right here.
You think I'd leave this in the hands of the British? You go with them.
She's like, you don't tell me what to do. They're saying, hey, look, wherever Bond goes now, we got to have an American presence with him, and
yeah, well, it's always been Felix Leiter, the CIA agent.
Yeah,
and they're just like, okay, we'll make it her, which works.
No, it does. So when we get to the villains in this movie, this is where the movie pretty much turns into a sci-fi Marvel film, right here, because at the start of the movie, we get the origin story of the villain, or what we think is going to be the main villain. The henchman. Or his second-hand man to Colonel Moon, this dude now called Zhao. We see his origin when James Bond makes his escape. Let me see. Y'all. So you saw where that's a scene that we showed earlier where Bond was paying for the weapons with diamonds. Turns out the diamonds was next to Zhao, so now we get bling face. Right here.
Yeah, I really like that two-faced diamond face guy. Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, no, he becomes bling face, man. I don't even really make a lot of sense to me either.
Your time will come. Not as soon as yours.
It's like, you can have those taken out at some point.
But then I won't have diamonds. Yeah, I'm surprised it's not a new thing that rappers are doing.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I mean,
they kind of have.
They would take those diamonds anyway. They were just going to leave that valuable shit in your face. To me, it just seemed like there's no explanation for him having that left in his face. It would make more sense for somebody to take those out because they're still valuable. But they just leave it in there because, hey, you know what? He's sort of a supervillain at this point. You know, he's a sci-fi Bond supervillain.
And it fits for James Bond.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, you know, for that era of James Bond, you know, like I'm saying, I don't know if we would get. Now we had some, like with Daniel Craig in Casino Royale, Lashif or whatever his name. You know, his whole thing is that he would have a teardrop made of blood come out of his eye socket, or whatever. You know, so you had some exaggerated characters, but I don't know if we get some this exaggerated today. You know, this is kind of crazy.
Well, you know, Casino Royale was the most grounded out of those.
Yeah.
But as they kept going, they got more and more fantastic.
Yeah, but not to this level.
No.
What I mean, really? You think? Because that was once we start getting we're gonna start getting to some areas of this where they get really crazy.
Oh, I know.
When we talk about Fast and Furious.
No, it's definitely Fast and Furious.
Oh yeah, I mean this is just the beginning. Right? He's like, oh shit, you don't even know what's about to happen.
Yeah, the movie gives up on reality.
Oh yeah, no.
He's in the Fast and the Furious.
Oh, is he in the Fast?
Yeah, Johnny Tran.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, he's like the villain, I suppose.
Yeah. If that's crazy for you, then, you know, you go ahead and just leave right now because it gets way over the top from that point. So my man goes to Cuba to get a sci-fi facelift. As you can see right here, where he goes to Cuba to get this treatment, which is what the doctor was doing. He was taking DNA from orphans and homeless people and runaways because he was taking them and putting them into people like Zhao over here. And the process for Zhao, well, he's getting turned into a white man. But the process not only includes infusing him with DNA to change him white, but he's also in this machine that's just one big sophisticated Rosetta Stone app that teaches him how to talk a different language, talk with an accent. Because he's not only being turned into a white man, but he's being turned to one of the whitest of white men. He's being turned to a German dude, right here. So this app is teaching him German while DNA is like transforming him into a whole different race. So DNA injections can just change your whole bone structure and everything. This is not technology we have, y'all. This is very sci-fi. Now I will give them this. At least they didn't do some face-off shit where they just put a different face on them and say, "Yeah, it fits." You know.
I love that sharper image, like plastic shield that they're using over his face, like just randomly changing colors.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, like that piece of plastic, like that's high tech technology. That's right out of Austin Powers.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I found funny. So this is supposed to be this lab where they're doing these secret processes with this, you know, this secret technology, DNA infusions, changing people's race. And it's supposed to be, you know, of course, all this is highly illegal, so they don't want anybody to find this. But this secret illegal lab is one of the easiest rooms to find because I love, you know.
No, I know. I was hoping you were going to bring it up because that shit is crazy. How much of the budget is going to this for this hospital? Like, it's so high tech and amazing.
It went all to the DNA shit because security, they didn't put no money in that at all. I'm looking at this, I'm like, it's the button right there, man. We can all see it.
He's like, always the simple thing.
He's like, are you kidding me? Really?
I got to remember to try the easiest thing first.
I mean, I'm just waiting for that person on smoke break to just lean on the wall and be like, oh shit.
That's like in an old video game when the whole wall is flat and it's like something really bulbous is sticking out. It's like, well, I guess I interact with that.
Yeah. I mean, just go ahead and just put a button there that says, our arrow that says right here.
And then when he goes in that room, man, it looks insane.
Yeah. No, it does. It looks like a kid's movie or something. Looks like goddamn Spy Kids when he goes in there.
Walking into a Spy Kids facility with moving mirrors and all these lights hanging down.
Yeah.
DNA strip.
And I like the way the button is it's shaped like a star so it stands out and everything. It's like, oh, come on, man. Come on. Yeah, you hit it perfectly. It's a video game.
Yeah.
That is not the main villain, though. It's almost, I like the way the movie almost is trying to give you a MacGuffin with this character because he's not the main villain. The main villain is something that's someone that's revealed to us later. And it actually happens guessing with this. It's a billionaire, a very rich brat billionaire, British billionaire, who has a very comic book name, Gustav Graves.
After an entrance like that, you can't be surprised you've been called a self-publicizing adrenaline junkie, can you?
I prefer the term adventurer.
We've been hearing rumors about the Icarus.
He is so British, man.
That shit-eating grin.
Yeah. He even has his bottom drawer sometimes. Yes. Gustav Graves. Yes. And I love that. God damn, he's so British, you just want to punch him.
Of course.
We've been hearing rumors about
I wish his teeth were crooked. My man, not only that punchable British smile does he have, but he's so goddamn British that he even has to fly in, parachute in on British flag.
Well, he's a Richard Branson type.
He sure is. You know everybody's on the ground.
I know, and they play London Calling.
Yeah.
They never do that in a James Bond movie.
I know. Everybody just like, Jesus, this guy.
It was interesting watching this. I was like, man, they just like wrote the script for Austin Powers. Like they just like gave him everything.
Well, the thing is, this movie, like this whole plot line with this villain, it's taken from the second book, Moonraker, which is actually one of the better books. But it's all about a guy that was loved by the British public. He was a billionaire. He kind of came from nothing and built himself up, and he was a hero of the people. And he could be a little rude and brash, but he was also building something in the sky, a satellite that was kind of like Star Wars, where he was going to shoot a beam down to take care of their enemies.
Yeah, so there you go. But he wants to help people. We'll get into that a little bit, but so again, people, I tell you, things get crazier and crazier. I mean, we're getting layers, just heaping helpings of craziness and insanity right here. And getting more, I would say science fiction, but heavy on the fiction. I mean, at this point, it really is a comic book movie. Because it turns out that Gustav Graves is not who we think he is. For all of you saying, where did this mysterious punchable asshole British guy come from out of nowhere? Oh, he's not out of nowhere. We've seen him before. Homie, what's up, bro?
They look like they're gonna kiss.
I know.
They do. You just can't smile without sneering.
I know. Well, that's part of that was part of the whole ruse right there. If you think he's being overly British, well, that's the point, because turns out that my man is not Gustav Grave as he said he was. Turns out he's actually Colonel Moon, the dude who James Bond killed with a fan and a wooden door earlier. He got the same surgery that Zhao was getting.
His was successful.
Yeah, his was successful. So he had the DNA sci-fi plastic surgery going on, which turned him into a supervillain. And straight up, I mean, it's not enough to start with this North Korean dude being changed into a rich British brat, white British brat. But again, he's got supervillain traits now. His whole thing is like the side effect of the DNA process, insomnia, permanent insomnia.
To work 24/7? Is it true that you don't need sleep?
You only get one shot at life. Why waste it on sleep?
Yeah, everybody thought he was around and playing, Turns out, no, I really cannot sleep.
Insomnia is permanent for me. It keeps me sane.
So he actually has what he called a dream machine, which is
something else from Sharper Image right there.
Yeah.
This damn Tron jellyfish mask that he got on, where it's an actual dream machine that he has to wear. He has to wear this to keep him from going crazier than he already is.
I don't think it works.
No, it doesn't work at all.
But it looks sick.
And what do supervillains do? Again, they have their eyes on world domination. They need big, big weapons to do it. Now, my man right here, of course, they're not going to tell the world that I'm trying to use this for evil. I have to tell them like, oh no, this is what I have here is going to be something that's going to save the world. So my man has practically built the sun. It's called Icarus. And he tells the people, hey, pay no attention to my sinister, shadowy lighting that I have right here that just pretty much says I'm evil. This whole thing is going to be used for good.
A second sun shining like a diamond in the sky.
It's an ecological disaster. What would it be? What are you talking
Imagine global warming on a scale you couldn't imagine.
Let's imagine throwing species off and people off, like just making permanent sunlight in certain places so you can tomatoes. You know, it makes no sense. So that's how you know that he's doing something bad. This makes no sense. Kill that man. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Man, his outfit also makes no sense. That furry fur coat tuxedo he's wearing.
Oh, it makes sense if you're an evil villain, super villain,
a rich brat.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I'm an evil pimp. What are you talking about? This is straight up a cartoon. Now, like I said, I watched it again thinking that, all right, you know what, this has a bad reputation. I remember it badly. As long as I'm not looking at it as a good James Bond movie, I'm looking at it as a fun film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's entertaining, y'all. Let's not be lying to say that it's not. And I'm going to tell you something. Take it out of the context of James Bond. If you can't really compare it to some of the James Bond movies out there that are better, way better than this. But man, listen, on an Austin Powers kind of level, you know, you can watch this and have fun with it.
I was impressed. Like the first hour of this movie just flies by. Like the pacing is really fun, and you can appreciate because unlike how they do movies today, a lot of it is just like it's on a set. Like it was a real place, and it's refreshing.
No, listen. I can't sit back and not enjoy how crazy and silly this is, especially if you love James Bond parodies. This is a movie that parodies itself. This man has this satellite. He just finally does tell people, you know, yeah, I'm using this to blow up the world, you know, and threaten my enemies. You know, really, y'all bought that shit about crops and all that? Come on, man. You know, piss me off and see what will happen. I looked up the one generally like, God damn. Yeah, the satellite is just one big super laser.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, one big death ray. I mean, this also is a cautionary tale of like, hey, maybe we shouldn't just trust billionaires to do whatever they want.
We haven't learned a goddamn thing. No, we have not. And this is the one where I said, all right, because at first I was rolling my eyes. And I was like, listen, I'm liking this, but man, I'm liking this reluctantly. All right, I don't want to admit it. Hey, listen, this is where I'm gonna be a snob, okay? But then it just takes one thing to win you over. When my man revealed that the source of control for his huge, as you say, death ray, his super laser. When he revealed that the source of the control for that was a Nintendo Power Glove, that shocks people too. I love it, man.
Hey, man, you let it go when Kong had one. You got to give it to them.
I'll give it to him, man. And listen, make no mistake, the shit is very much a power glove. Let me see where.
Sit down before I put this glove on your ass.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is a power glove and it's very much a video game controller. It's got video game buttons on there and a tracking ball. Yeah. I mean, look at this. My man even has. He's in a ship that looks like something that the Empire would have in Star Wars.
Yeah, isn't that the cockpit to the Millennium Falcon?
It is, yeah. And he's got virtual reality goggles on. He's got a Ready Player One power suit on. That tracking ball got me, man.
Yeah, track ball, yeah.
Dead technology.
Not for him. He's bringing it back. It's not enough to just go to, you know, one of those extravagant hotels, man. You know, no, we got to go to let me see.
I don't even know what you would call this.
Let me see. Yeah, you got to go to a hotel made of ice. I'm just looking at a random place.
Well, no, those are a thing.
Yeah, but I know. We've been to a bar, but I don't think they, you know, are to this extent right now.
No, I read about them because the only real unrealistic thing is that they have this one in Iceland, which Iceland's too warm for that. But in Norway and other Nordic countries, they even had those at the time.
Sliding ice doors.
Man,
see, that's
I didn't do a tour. I'm just telling you, I read it. They had those.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That's why I chose this. I'm like, I doubt if they have electric ice sliding doors straight here. But that right there, it's like, come on.
It looks like Mr. Freeze's lair.
Yeah, it does.
Yes. No, it very much
boy.
does.
It's the same plastic material.
Yeah.
Got clowns in there ice skating.
Yeah, maybe some of it's plastic just made to look like ice.
Okay. I'll
keep it cold.
I'll take that. I love Gustav's henchmen because he just hired them. They trying way too hard. Like this one dude right here.
I'm Mr. Kill.
I'm like, really? you don't want to get that's it, Mr. Kill. He gave himself that name that day. He just got hired and said, "Yeah, I'm gonna be Mr. Kill."
So we need a code name for you. Got any ideas? You're gonna kill people.
Yeah, you don't want to get more creative, brother.
I'm starting this new job. New me. I'm Mr. Kill from now on.
Yeah,
Frank, just stand over there.
Yeah, you
don't talk.
Yeah, you don't want to be Fu Manchu 2 or something. Really?
And that's Bond's look, really?
Yeah, really, Mr. Kill. Yes, that's all you had, huh?
Shooter McGavin was taken.
Yeah, Mr. Kill, boy. I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna get Bond with this one. Hey, brother. Okay, whatever, man. It's a terrible name for him because if he's gonna call himself Mr. Kill, he's terrible at his job. Like,
I love that.
No, I do too. Yeah, he got hit. First day on the job, got killed with a laser. Mr. Kill got killed on the first day of his job.
Who's to know that there'd be many lasers around?
Yeah. I'm sure he was briefed on this, man. Now, here are the lasers. Be careful. Don't get caught up in one. Oh, well. I think that James Bond is just like, that was too easy.
Right.
So, Mr. Kill, huh?
Well, he seemed to be impressed by the whole thing. Like, God damn, I ain't never killed nobody like that before.
No, I think that it has some really cool things. I think that the chase on ice, now it goes on a little too long, I think. But I do think that, because we have an invisible car in this,
which is a technology they have sort of like that.
No, I'm not bad mouthing it. I think the scene goes on a little too long, but I do think it's actually pretty cool. Yeah, again, I don't know about how that technology works with ice, but sure.
Just melt the door, dummy.
I just kick it or something. And I like the way it's set up too. I like Q. I like Q in this a lot. John Cleese made her.
Yeah, he's amazing. Like whenever he shows up, you know that he's going to do his job.
Yeah, no, Q is actually very, very good in the movie, I thought.
I mentioned he's 007, but a perfect marksman isn't really supposed to.
Damn, he came like he gonna whoop his ass.
They'll bend it down. Right
yeah, he's hunched over. James Bond like, are you real or are you virtual reality? I don't know. That was kind of cool, that technology right there.
Sure, it's like the Danger Room.
Yeah.
That whole scene was good, I thought. You even see James Bond reload his gun in that. I was like, finally.
Well, it threw me off because they were killing people that were characters. You know?
Right.
Like Moneypenny's dead. I forgot about this. Yeah, that's, again, it's over the top virtual reality stuff, but I thought that was pretty cool in the movie. And you guys are right, man. I think that we're almost about to wrap this up. I think that dueling scene.
I think it's incredible.
That scene is actually great. Mm-hmm. Where Gustav Graves just finally says, he's fighting James Bond with fencing. Of course, James Bond is good at everything, so he's getting the best of them. And he just finally says, and he says, the hell with these little swords. We about to get some Excalibur shit. Mm-hmm. He goes to the wall and pulls out a big ass sword. They tear that. They're at a pretty much like a country club, a gentleman's club, not a strip club, but a gentleman's club. For billionaires and millionaires, and they tear that place up.
First blood drawn from the torso.
Oh, that's it now. Club, and they tear that place up.
It goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's so nice to see them just in a real set, and there's a great moment of like real filmmaking where there was a lot of luck when he kicks that sword at the camera panning over there. It's like that's what making movies is about.
Yeah,
like, that's real luck.
They almost killing people in there, man. They tore that club up, man. They even mention later. They say like, yeah, we had to take care of the expenditures,
the damages,
the damages here. Yeah. So yeah, no, that's actually a really cool scene, man. It's a great scene. You know, you say what you will about this movie, man, but this shit's amazing.
No, you already lost. What do you?
He's like, yeah, she saved your ass. I'm about to kill you. Yeah, man.
He's like, mission, you gotta die.
Yeah, tired of you. Yeah, no, that's a great scene. And I'm gonna tell you, man. About to wrap this up. Some other great stuff in here. There's just some funny things in here, man.
There's a lot of goofy stuff in this. We would be here all day.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. I like even rewatching. I was like, man, people talking about this. This movie is fun. I like this movie. And they got to the third act, and I was like, oh shit, it just went off a cliff.
Oh yeah, no, it's crazy. No, it's crazy, man. All that stuff you see there, man, with the lasers and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, there is some hilarious stuff in here. And I admit, I mean, they caught me off guard with some characters that I thought, oh, this character's gonna suck. He's gonna bring this down. They got a character in here that's look, you could remove him from the movie, and it wouldn't affect anything. But they got this asshole South African guy.
Oh yeah,
who's just there to. He's just there to be set up for Bond to punch because you want to see this guy get punched.
About bloody time, Fidel. Want to be known as Fidel Castrata. Rapid, dominance.
You're like, oh yeah, I'm about to get your ass. And he does. He's Bond's always gonna find a use for somebody. Mm-hmm. You know, he's like, oh, this guy would be perfect as a prop.
The hell do you want? I don't need a goddamn wheelchair.
No. You do now.
And why did he punch him? Because he needed him. He needed to put somebody in that wheelchair,
right,
as a way to like fake his way into the facility where they're doing the DNA stuff. But I like when he had no more use for this man. When he finally got in and got what he wanted, he let him know you ain't shit.
The way he walked away.
Threw his ass into the wall, man. I would say this, and to round things out, I would say that even though I have fun with this, one of the things that I think, again, that you won't see them do so much in a movie is they're not going to have as many puns in this, man. Especially all the sex puns here.
Yeah. It's nonstop.
Oh my God, the sex puns in here, man. They just, I mean, you talk about being here all day. We'd be here all day with these sex puns.
I see you handle your weapon well.
I have been known to keep my tip up.
Yeah, I got it. You don't have to like mimic a dick. I got what you were saying. You know, and they get, I mean, they almost get explicit with it.
Wow. Now there's a mouthful.
Like, Jesus, girl, I thought I was nasty.
To be fair, though, Madonna probably had that in her contract.
Right?
She's like, I need him to flirt with me.
That is true. And then at the end of the movie, it was just like, all right, I get it.
Wait, don't pull it out. I'm not finished with it yet. Leave it in.
Well, it's gonna come out sooner or later.
You know what? I was like the villain over here, man.
How's that for a punchline?
That's a punchline for you. Shut the up. Yeah, Bond made a joke and thought he was gonna get by with it. Like, no, I'm tired of your shit.
How's that for a punchline?
Yeah,
I'm gonna use that later.
The movie's so over the top. That's my point. You know, when you see the giant laser, the sex puns, you know, the cartoonish villains that we have here. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, because I even think this movie, when you hold it up against other James Bond movies, okay, maybe it doesn't measure up. And I get that. And I don't think it does either. But I will say that I do think that if you just take it on its own, man, and there are some James Bond movies you have to do that with. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What's the one with where they go to the island of death and
Man with the Golden Gun.
Man with the Golden Gun.
Yeah.
It's not that great of a film, but it's entertaining.
It's entertaining. Yeah, I watched it last year for the first time, and I was like, it's not great. And good is a stretch. It's not even good, but it is entertaining.
Yeah. Here's another reason why. Because you have a movie like this that was good for its time, but there was today not only do I think they won't make a James Bond movie like this because of, they're trying to get into just a different tone of James Bond, but you have this kind of movie being made today, and for better or for worse, we have a series of movies that have taken the place of the sci-fi comic book, almost comedy like James Bond films.
You're in the world. Felt sorry for the boy, did you? He will find this humiliating.
Kingsman is what these movies, we already have the Kingsman.
But that's another,
the James Bond movies.
It's another example of, wow, that first movie's incredible. And then as they go, and now we're at Argyle.
Argyle, yeah. But this one started out.
Yeah, exactly.
This one, well, I was just saying this one started out as a, comic book movie.
Right.
And it's even created with a comic book writer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Matthew Vaughn.
Not Matthew Vaughn.
No, Mark Miller.
Mark Miller,
Yeah, Mark Miller, Matthew Vaughn. Yeah, and it's a satire or parody of, an over-the-top James Bond film.
Yeah, exactly. So, you already have something filling the void of something like Die Another Day. Whether you like these movies or not, they are those films. Mm-hmm. So James Bond today almost has to have a different tone to differentiate itself from the parodies and satires out there.
And we mentioned it, Fast and the Furious is filling that void in flying colors.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's right. They did turn to spy movies now. So,
yeah.
No, you're exactly right.
And going more serious and more grounded is the way to go. And for a time, it was like, well, I don't know, man. I think the Bourne Identity has that locked down. And after a few movies, they weren't even doing it anymore.
No, they weren't. So yeah, people, I enjoyed this. I enjoy this as an actual James Bond movie that would be a parody of a James Bond movie today. It's fun. But I don't think you're going to see something like this for a while, and that's fine.
That's fine.
I like where they're going with James Bond right now. I'd rather have a different tone of James Bond. I hope they continue the whole thing where they tell these stories in arcs and have them complete and move on to the next James Bond. But we'll see what happens. But still, this one's a lot of fun though. Mm-hmm. After a while, I was just kind of like, man, I'm having a great time with this. Not great itself, but a great time to be had just as being silly fun. So there you go. My man.
What rating would you guys give it, though?
I don't know, man. I'd probably still give it a high rental. Because if I saw it at the theater right now, I'd be like, it's a lot of stuff that they're doing here that I really just don't like, no matter whether it's for a James Bond movie or not. But watching it at home, man, I had a great time.
Yeah, I'd probably give it like an extremely low matinee, and that's probably a little bit of nostalgia because I remember seeing this when I was like 11 years old in theaters, but it's not a great movie, but it is very fun.
Yeah, I'm hovering around the same area where I know I was enchanted by it when I first saw it, but watching it again, it's like, yeah, okay. And then it gets to the third act, it loses me because it's just way off the rails.
The first hour is really good.
Yeah, the first hour is really good. Even rewatching, I was like, I appreciate this just as much as back then. So
yeah. I'm looking for the guy, Alan Kalo. You gave us something to talk about. You gave us a really good. You actually gave us a good subject to review and have a discussion for. It is timely because we are going to be getting another James Bond soon at some point, whether it's this guy, what's his name, Aaron Taylor Johnson or not. But it was good reconnecting with this movie here too. Had fun. Well, you made it to the end of the video. That must mean you really like what we do. So if you do, check out these other videos just like this one. Check out our other YouTube channels and subscribe to join our wonderful Toasty community. And as always, stay toasty.